Welcome to another When Racism Attacks. I don't know what volume this is, but I really had to make this one because I'm looking at ICE. Oh, yeah, focus of this one will be ICE. I'm looking at the ICE, the immigration and something enforcers or something. I don't know what it stands for. And I'm looking at how much money has been given over to them. I think it's like 75 billion.
ICE gets $45 billion to expand its detention facilities, a lot of those private prisons, and $30 billion for arrest and deportations. The bill also adds tens of billions of dollars for Border Patrol. So just get your head around this. ICE now has more funding than the FBI, DEA, ATF, Marshals, and the Bureau of Prisons combined.
It reminds me of something that happened in the 90s. In the 90s, you know what? Give me a second. Let me get up and being lazy and sitting on the couch recording. In the 90s, everybody remembers the bill by Joe Biden to set up all the needless prisons and stuff. It was actually called the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act. That bill, $9.7 billion, this is in 1994, was given over to fund all these different prisons that were built. $9.7 billion in 1994. That's a lot of money, a lot of taxpayers' dollars being siphoned away from them. And most of that money, as I've said in so many different videos, most of that money goes towards the construction of certain things or the distribution of certain things. Now, the whole 9.7 billion, you would be a naive fool if you thought that all of that money goes towards building it. A very small percentage goes towards building it. The contractors that are working with the politicians, they get the lion's share. And the contractors kick off a little bit off to the politicians. It's a giant money laundering grift game that is played. But white people, they go along with it because as long as you say, hey, the others are bad and I'm going to go after the others, it kind of gives white people like this nice little fuzzy feeling in their inside parts. And so they'll just turn a blind eye and ignore it. What was it that Lyndon Baines Johnson said? If you make the poorest white man think he's better than the richest black man, he'll do whatever you say or something like that. It's very true. And they discovered that centuries ago, that all you have to do to the white masses is make them think like they're better than other groups. And they'll ignore. I mean, they'll know the bad stuff that's being done to them, but they'll just flat out ignore it. They will ignore it. You could hurt them, hurt their children, their grandchildren, poison, all kinds of stuff. They'll ignore it. As long as they can look and say, well, the others have it worse, they'll go along with it. And it's insane. And that is one of the horrible things about racism, that pathetic jealousy that gives way to white people allowing racism to exist and to permeate in their society. It makes them hurt themselves. So that was 1994. Now you have 75 billion being allocated toward ICE. There are so many, there's like facial recognition systems that are being built for this, sidearms, all kinds of different weapons, gear. All that money goes to the owners of those companies that develop that stuff. People aren't smart enough, I guess, to realize that those companies sit down with politicians before all this stuff gets passed and written and talked about. They sit down with them and say, hey, why don't you get a contract kicked back my way and I'll help you out. I'll help fund your presidential run or your mayoral run or your governor's run. I'll help fund it. I'll also give you a nice cushy job. Maybe I'll give you some stock options. Maybe I'll just cut you a check. But I'll find a way to pat you on the back if you help me out. And they say, okay, well, what do you have in mind? And then it's the owners of the corporations that will write the policies. I'm telling you guys, they are the ones. They will sit down once they realize, once they get the politician or politicians that they need under their belt. Then the corporations, the people that obviously work for them, they'll hire a lawyer or somebody that works for them. They will write the bill, and then they will give it over to the politician and say, all right, this is the bill I want passed. This is what it's going to give to me. This is what it's going to give to this guy over here. And this is what's going to give to this guy over here. And, we'll help you out. The politician says, yes, sir. And they go and they push the bill. They get it passed. It gets turned into a law. And then all this money gets allocated. They give the money over to the rich corporation. The corporation spends a small percentage of it providing the product that they said they would provide in the bill that they wrote. They keep the rest, and then they help out that politician in some way financially going forward in the future. That's how it works. So all this money that, you have a lot of people, it's not everybody in white society, but you have a lot of people in white society that are like, I love ICE and I want ICE to go out there and get those illegals and get rid of them. Now, I'm not saying illegals shouldn't be gotten rid of. I'm not saying that. That's more nuanced conversation, because you have a lot of illegals that come here because we go over into their country illegally and fuck shit up. And so those people who would normally have a normal life if we didn't fuck around with their goddamn governments and with their policies and laws, and we didn't install puppets and bring in dictators and bring in drugs and bring in all kinds of diseases and do things to destabilize them. If we didn't do that, those people would be over there in their own country minding their own fucking business. But because we do that, our government that we fund, those people need a place to go. And so they come here. And they come here because the rich corporations can use them as as practical slave labor. They can pay them whatever they want. They can do whatever they want to them because the people aren't going to complain because they're not citizens. They don't have a voice. They'll do whatever they have to get the little bit of pennies that's given over to them so that they can live here and have their families live here and take care of their children in a relatively safe place. So when we say get rid of illegals, while I don't agree that people should just be coming into the country illegally and we just let them stay here, the reason I say it's more nuanced is, well, we shouldn't be over there. That has to be talked about, but no one wants to talk about it. So then I don't talk about the illegals. That's why I don't bring up whether it's right or wrong. So you have these illegals coming in, and a lot of white society is saying, we like that the illegals are gotten rid of, and and they're just happy because and it's not, they don't say that about the Ukrainians. They don't say that about any white illegal people that get over here. They don't say anything about them. But any illegals that come from a black or Hispanic place, oh yeah, well, we love ICE. Well, guess what? ICE is here to rob your pockets. Turn your pockets out. Because they're here to take your money, and you're sitting there clapping for them and egging them on because you think, well, they're kicking it. They're hurting the non-white people. And so you're clapping them on and egging them on, and you're allowing it to happen, and you're pushing for it to happen. All the while, they're just robbing you, taking all the money out of your pockets, all the money that you spend in tax dollars that you expect to be used for you. All of it just gets siphoned away from you and your families. All that money that you could use to pay off your house and leave a mortgage-free property to your children, or pay off your mortgage and refinance at the inflated rate so that you could buy another house or fund a project or go on vacation or do whatever you want with it. Can't do any of that stuff. You can't do all the stuff that you would want to do because money's being taken out of your check. And the money is being taken out of your check specifically to hand over to the wealthy. That is literally what your taxes are for. They use a small percentage of it to do certain little things in the country. And that's only because they know, well, we can't just take all their money and give it away. The people would revolt and kill us. So we're not going to do that. We have to do something for them. So they'll do little things like take care of infrastructure, pay politicians, finance certain little programs. But all the major stuff, that the things you really need help with, You're on your own. You got to take care of that. You got to pay for your own medical coverage. You got to pay your own medical insurance. You got to deal with all the drug addicts and the homeless people that are destroying your cities and your communities. You got to deal with the infrastructure being whittled away, things not being fixed, repaired, renewed. So you don't have, like in all the other countries, they have all these nice maglev trains that they can use to get across their countries relatively easily. They have a lot of nice infrastructure. They don't have bridges fucking collapsing and shit. Because their because their money is supposed to be used for a lot of stuff for them, but that doesn't happen for you. But you ignore it because you just want the others to be hurt. As long as you can watch black people be hurt and Hispanics be hurt and others who aren't like you be hurt, you guys are okay with it. So when you guys are sitting there complaining about, oh, the stuff is becoming too expensive and life is becoming too hard, I can't find a job and the city is going to crap. When you guys make all these videos online, the rest of us laugh at you because you guys wanted this to happen. You watched as it happened and allowed it to happen. You knew what was going on. You knew the money you pay in taxes wasn't being used for you. You knew that the money was being used to fund wars in the Middle East and to fund coups in Africa and to form attacks in South America. You knew that money was being used to harass black Americans for no reason, to murder them for fun, to throw them in prisons, to build prisons to funnel them into for doing things like smoking marijuana. You knew what that stuff was being used for. You knew that money needed to be spent for that stuff, and you guys didn't say anything because you wanted it to happen because of your jealous racism. So all that money that was being spent for all that stuff that I just mentioned, that's coming out of your fucking pockets. So when you don't have money to do certain things and you don't have money to buy groceries, and when the white politicians who you put in office are working to make sure that you're impoverished because it helps them and their rich white friends, we laugh at you when you complain about that stuff because this is what you wanted. This is what you signed up for when you decided to become a stupid, blind, jealous, pathetic racist. And you decided that only thing I care about is the destruction of people that don't look like me. And hell, even some of the people that look like me. If the people that look like me don't agree with me, I want them to be destroyed too. That's what stupidity, jealousy, bigotry, and racism gets you. They use that racism to blind you to what was really going on, what they were really going to do to you. And you all sat there, you bent over and you took it because you just wanted other people to be harmed. Now it's your turn. Now it's caught up to you because now they don't have any other groups to really go after anymore. They've targeted so many different people. Now you're what's left. So all these animalistic criminals that we call politicians and that we call wealthy business owners, they've started to run out of ways to eat everybody else without really harming you. I mean, they've always bothered people in white society, from the coal miners over to other people in small towns where their water is being poisoned. Infrastructure is being taken from them. White people have been affected before as well, but now they're really affecting you. It's like none of y'all have a place to run. And you're being really affected just as badly as everybody else, and you're starting to really feel it. And you guys go online and you complain. Personally, I laugh when I see those videos where women are complaining, I can't buy food for my children. Shut the fuck up. You can't buy food for your children because you wanted this to happen. This is what you wanted. You wanted to let rich, white, powerful people destroy everything for their own financial gain. Well, that's what they're doing. I'm sorry it's affecting you now, but them's the breaks. That's what you got to deal with. So you guys got to figure out how to get over this pathetic jealousy so that you can stop with the fucking bigotry and racism. Leave us alone. When we get shot by cops, instead of spending your time making fun of us and trying to hurt our feelings by calling us criminals and saying we deserve it, instead of attacking us in the streets and starting fights with us, instead of calling our children niggers and making fun of them and trying to destroy their life, instead of doing that stuff, what you guys need to focus on the white people that control all of this stuff. Go focus on those people. You need to now wake up and turn your attention to them and stop wasting your time being jealous and hateful of everybody else.